In New York to the Knicks, beating Atlanta Thursday night. Philadelphia 0-2. Their last game Thursday night, they lost at home to the Dallas Mavericks. And Speedy Claxton out of Hofstra controlling. Derek Coleman played by Christian Laettner. Claxton getting it inside to Matt Harper.
How long in the lane?
3-second violation.
Talking to Doug Collins before the game, he said that the keys for Washington's success tonight are going to be defensive rebound. Philly is bigger and better up front. They've got to deny penetration to Speedy Claxton. Both times he handled it there, he got into the lane. They got to cut down on their turnover and get something off the bench. It can't just be Michael Jordan.
Jordan being played by a Harper here at the start. Crowd looking for him to shoot.
Not a bad way to start. Come out, knock down a three-pointer. They're chasing you the rest of the way.
When the preseason game was here,
and Speedy Claxton able to show the outside touch.
When the preseason game was here, Jordan opened with 41, and everybody that's here expects something like that tonight to really get this regular season rolling.
Christian Laettner, an outstanding high post passer, needs to become more involved in everything the Wizards are doing. He needs to pick up the pace of his game.
Raja Bell in the starting backcourt along with Speedy Claxton. Roger played well in the NBA Finals, playing only 5 games in the regular season for the Sixers. Shot clock down to 3. Claxton turns it over. Jahidi White nearly tossed it away.
You're seeing the rust for Philadelphia. The fact that none of these guys have really ever played before. Jahidi White just absolutely not ready for that kind of pass.
Here's Richard Hamilton on a step back. Yes. So the Wizards have a 4-2 lead.
I don't think it's so much rush for Philadelphia as unfamiliarity. They got a lot of new people in that lineup, and Speedy Claxton is being asked to do something which he didn't do at Hofstra, which is really be a playmaker, get other people involved. Speedy, he wants to be speedy and quick to the hoop.
Dikembe Mutombo hitting over fellow Georgetown alum Jahidi White.
Something that we saw from Mutombo in the NBA Finals last spring. Larry Brown, the first coach he's ever had, really that's encouraged an offensive attack from Mutombo.
Oh, Jordan got the contact. He thought he was fouled by Harper. Here's Raja Bell taking it to the rim.
You know, Philadelphia beat Washington in the preseason, and they did it with their quickness. Now they got some more size to go along with Mutombo, and what will be their secret to success is involving the big guys, because Washington is a small team, and they don't really have a lot of rebounding.
And a defensive 3-second call. One of the new rules implemented this season.
Jordan goes for the pump fake. Always difficult to execute the shot that you just faked. No rhythm, no lift to his legs. Harper played it pretty well, and that ignited a fast break for Philadelphia. Raja Bell able to convert.
And Chris Whitney shooting the technical. That's the automatic call on the defensive 3-second violation.
We've got new rules, and they come into effect, and Dikembe Mutombo will probably have a lot of problems. The defensive 3 seconds, you've got to get out of the lane. You got to actively be guarding somebody within an arm's length. They got that violation and got the technical from Whitney.
Laettner with a rainbow jumper. Now, Doug Collins wants to see more of that medium-range jump shot from Christian Laettner, who's been very quiet during the preseason over the first 2 games of the season.
Look how far Chris Whitney is playing off of Speedy Claxton, just basically daring him to shoot his own shot. Coleman earns a trip to the line.
Fouled by Laettner. Derek Coleman in his second go-around with Philadelphia, played for the 76ers from 95 through 98. You take a look at the starting lineup for the Sixers last season, first half of the year with Theo Ratliff, and look at this present starting lineup.
Well, surgery to the thumb for Eric Snow, to the elbow for Allen Iverson, George Lynch, foot surgery. He's playing for Charlotte. Tyrone Hill is now in Cleveland, so a complete change of the roster.
Rarely has a team that accomplished so much in one season started off the next year with so many uncertain areas, and that began with the coaching and front office situations. Larry Brown is still here. Team president Pat Croce provided so much energy and enthusiasm must now deal with Mike Fratello in NBC studio.
That will be a major problem. But in the past, Larry would just leave himself. Now he just sent all the players off.
Yes, that's right.
But the reality is Brown changes his team every year. And this is just a bigger change than normal.
Only Dikembe Mutombo remains from the starting lineup. Here's Jordan. Michael looking sharp here at the start.
And Michael looked at the defense. The play had broken down, and he said, look, just get out of the way. I'll take care of this. Nice pass by Derek Coleman.
Pretty give and go. Derek Coleman, who is an excellent passer, able to feed Matt Harpring, who drew the foul.
You know, whenever Jordan gets this kind of lather up and the tongue comes out, he's feeling pretty good about himself. And Harpring right there, but Jordan pulls up. Now, we'll see him pull up a lot tonight because of Mutombo. Mutombo has already said, I don't think he wants to come in my house. So, yeah, guaranteed. And, you know, they don't get a lot of free throws by driving the ball anyway, so this is a jump shooting basketball team.
And Steve, that was an excellent Dikembe impersonation.
Good hands defensively, Raja Bell.
Oh, Leighton showing some confidence.
I think what they really want from him is aggressiveness.
Offering. Mutombo stopped from behind. White got a piece of it, but it's 76er ball. Here's Popeye Jones, who's played well over the first two games, coming on for Christian Laettner.
Popeye Jones finally healthy after so many years of dragging an extremely bad leg around. One of the league's premier rebounders before he tore it up. It's been a struggle since.
Now, I know that Christian Laettner is becoming the new Casper the Friendly Ghost, but he had a good start, and he's already out of the game.
Here's Claxton, and the foul is called. Looks like Whitney hurt his wrist.
This is the most mysterious player to be the college player of the year and to come into the pros and struggle as much as he has. I mean, Laettner at every stop has been effective, but not nearly as good as they wanted him to be, and somehow he's always been movable. And he's here with Washington. They need him to play big, and he hasn't so far. Doug Collins giving him a quick breather.
Well, he took him out after that second foul. Steve, you say movable. He's played for the T-Wolves, a #1 draft pick, 3rd selection overall, the Hawks, the Pistons, the Mavericks, and now the Wizards acquired him that deal involving Juwan Howard.
And all in a short period of time. I mean, it's like almost every year, Christian Laettner's on the move.
Michael showing the entire repertoire here in this opening quarter.
I love the way he uses the backside to create the space to initiate.
Ejection by White. Nice feed by Claxton.
Space the floor if you're the Wizards. Give Jordan some room to operate.
Popeye Jones left wide open.
It's going to be 1 and out if they can't move the defense of the 76ers to give themselves a chance to get some offensive rebounding.
Jahidi White is not going to be an offensive rebounding factor against Mutombo.
Gets inside. Strong move by Derek Coleman.
But that's what Larry Brown really wants. He's concerned that Speedy Claxton and Raja Bell are just going to try to make this an open court, wide open game. The strength for Philadelphia right now with Iverson out is Mutombo and Coleman inside.
Hamilton is fouled by Bell.
And Derek Coleman is a player with really a great deal of skill. We can't say potential anymore because all of that's gone.
35. You can't talk about potential at 35.
He has the potential to get 20 points a game, and that's why Larry Brown has him back. They needed another scorer up front. That's what Derek Coleman represents at 35.
Derek Coleman with Charlotte. 34 games played last year. They couldn't win a game. When he doesn't play, they're one of the premier teams in the entire league. Go figure. What an enigma.
It was not a wonderful run first time around with the Sixers or with Charlotte last year due to the practice habit. Struggled with that irregular heartbeat and then left for free agency.
And he still has to take daily medication to get regular checkups for that heartbeat.
Popeye Jones with the strip, recovered by Mutombo. Harpring can't find the shot. Shot clock down at 2. Nice play. Raja Bell going glass.
Raja Bell with the nice jumper there. Had a brilliant summer. Came to life last year during the playoffs with all the injuries. Was the MVP of the summer.
Heard that the new front end has a really aggressive look. Like the grill is like.
Wow, that's gonna look good. Yeah, that looks good. I want it right now.
Yeah.
That weekend is good. See you then.
Going away for a weekend? Then live like a high roller. Go from your hotel to the movies, the shopping malls, and the sports bars.
I thought you liked to eat caviar and watch polo.
Not in this economy.
With Courtyard come out and play rates, you can make the most of your weekend plans.
We'll send you a postcard.
Yeah, whatever.
Call 1-800-MARRIOTT. Courtyard, your Marriott awaits.
Then I had it taste. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King. Now I'm a believer. With grilled sourdough bread. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. A quarter pound of flame broiled beef. I'm in love. 2 slices of melted Swiss cheese. 4 strips of bacon. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger will make you a believer. Now for a limited time at Burger King. Shrek, the biggest movie of the year. Now available wherever videos are sold.
Yeah, I heard the new CR-V's coming out. It has room in the back for 2 mountain bikes.
Well, it doesn't have to be mountain bikes. It can be anything that would be equivalent of 2 mountain bikes.
Really?
Like, what would you want to haul?
A pony.
Doug Collins was telling us yesterday after practice Thursday night in Atlanta, he said Michael Jordan won the game for us at halftime. Said he took a strong stand with his teammates, said we can't play like this. In fact, Michael had said, you know, it's not about being on television, getting all these tickets for your family in Atlanta. Let's go out. We got to hold each other accountable.
That challenging leadership always been a trademark, not only of Jordan, but the great players in history. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. We'll see that a lot, and these guys are going to have to learn to live with that.
Yeah, he might be giving that speech at the quarter because right now the more aggressive team is the team in black, the Sixers. Jordan is trying to get free, but Harpering is doing a good job. I mean, he's lathered up. He's into this ball game, but he knows he can't do it all by himself, and I think Brown is not going to send a lot of people to him until Jordan really gets sizzling hot.
Larry Brown is not a double-team type coach.
Jordan on the turnaround, not able to hit. Michael is now 2 of 5 from the field.
Everything is fading away for Washington. Everything is going to the hoop. Matt Harpering comes up with a bad leg.
Michael Jordan able to get to it on the ricochet to set up Hamilton. It's been the same story we saw in New York on opening night. His teammates not hitting shots, getting opportunities.
Well, the problem with the team that's a jump shooting team is they got to get some sort of rhythm, and against the feisty defense, they're going to struggle.
Well, Chris Whitney's been hitting shots. He has been the perimeter guy. He's been the open man, and he's been taking advantage. A 3 for Whitney to bring the Wizards within 3.
On this team, Chris Whitney is the John Paxson from the Bulls, the B.J. Armstrong, the Steve Kerr, the guy that Jordan trusts and always is looking for when the defense collapses.
Hamilton open, shooting over Bell, and again misfires.
We've got an injury problem here. Chris Whitney really grimacing, holding his hand.
Hurt his hand earlier and just did the same. A foul was called on Jahidi White. And Whitney will be replaced by Courtney Alexander, a second-year man from Fresno State.
And so much is expected of Courtney Alexander. I mean, Rip Hamilton, Courtney Alexander represent part of the future and the nucleus of this team, and he's not been able to perform well yet. He's been struggling, but they need his offensive energy. He's a good defender and rebounds the ball well, so he's got to find a way to get in it. That takes pressure off of Jordan.
Here's Claxton firing. Speedy Claxton, for all intents and purposes, is in his rookie season. He's made it back from reconstructive left knee surgery, sat up the entire season last year, then spent all summer working out in Philadelphia, and he has looked sharp. Heidi White throws it away. He's had his problems here in the first quarter. Claxton making a beautiful move around Jordan, avoiding Jordan. And you can see Michael is very unhappy.
Claxton is a rookie this year, but by the league rules, he will be eligible for every rookie honor, and his statistics will be measured against other rookies.
Alexander
But that's the difference, though, between Alexander and Whitney. Alexander's a scorer. Led the nation in scoring for Jerry Tarkanian at Fresno State. That jumper forces Larry Brown to call a timeout.
3:36 remaining in the opening quarters. The 76ers 21 and the Wizards 16.
Go, man. Let's go. Let me give y'all something.
You know what I expect? That the new CRV is going to have keyless entry. Open, locked. You know what that was?
Open, locked, open.
Open, locked, open.
Do it again. Open, locked, open again.
No, that was locked, open, locked.
Sorry.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, when is Shrek coming out on video and DVD?
Don't tell him anything!
You were saying?
Shrek on video and DVD. Everybody owns it. Why don't you?
Hey, what you doing?
Playing solitaire?
I can take a hint. Any chance you get, come to McDonald's now and try some of the unexpected new tastes at your favorite place. Now on McDonald's new taste menu.
Wouldn't you love to go to Europe?
Yep.
Basically what torque is, it's the vector product of the radius vector and the rotation force vector.
What does that mean?
More.
Well, it's got more of what I said.
Yeah, the vector.
Right.
It was the mountains and the snow and the water below. Are you ready? And you will know it's cold at last when the Coors Light hits your glass. Are you ready for a cold one? Are you ready for a cold Coors Light? Are you ready? Are you ready for a cold Coors Light? Are you ready for a cold one?
Oksana Bayou, Surya Bonali, Nicole Bobek, and more. An encore of the Hallmark World Pro Figure Skating Championships, Sunday at 1 Eastern on NBC.
The early numbers on Michael Jordan. He's played all 8 minutes. In fact, the Wizards are going back-to-back. We talked about that with Doug Collins. How will he proportion the minutes tonight and then tomorrow night in Detroit? He said, if we have a shot to win this one, Michael's going to go 40-plus minutes tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow in Detroit. Looks like Matt Harpering came up hobbling as the foul's called on Popeye Jones. Incidentally, the report on Chris Whitney, he bruised his left thumb. They're taping it. He will return.
Well, you know, Harpering tweaked that leg about 2 plays ago, and he's still trying to walk it off. But Harpering plays basketball with a football player's mentality. You know, he was a football player and switched over to play basketball, and really was a surprise for Chuck Daly when he went to Orlando, but he always seems to injure himself.
And Harpering has been injury hit over his 2 years with Orlando and then Cleveland. In fact, he's missed better than 100 games during that stretch.
But big problems for Doug Collins because Philadelphia is executing beautifully. They're taking it to the hoop. Their field goal percentage, they're shooting 8 for 11. And so while Washington's defense is not doing anything of note to slow down Philadelphia, their offense is struggling as well. They're extremely fortunate to just trail by 7 points here.
Jordan. Are you switching from the magnificence of Jordan?
Still turning very early.
He may have to go for the career high here, which is 69 points.
Montego Cummings, who just checked in the backcourt now with Speedy Claxton, Dikembe Mutombo, Derek Coleman, Matt Harpering up front. Mutombo with a fadeaway jump shot.
And the thing about the defense of the Wizards, they're letting the ball move too freely. And when Doug Collins was sitting over here, he was always preaching about defense. You got to defend. You got to stop that ball. His team is not doing it.
76ers up 25-16, their biggest lead of the game. Michael not able to hit from in close, and he's struggling now.
And they're not stopping the ball from Claxton, and they're fortunate to get out of that breaking opportunity.
Earlier, Speedy put a move on Jordan. Hamilton has been way off.
Very poor shooting by Washington.
Well, let's remember, those are jump shots, and those are the shots that this team lives and dies by, and they've got to be able to knock down those open shots. Right now, they're tight.
They don't have a front court presence right now. Their two best big men are rookies, and they're both injured, Kwame Brown and Brendan Haywood.
The hope of the Wizards that Kwame Brown will return sometime next week. Jordan on a putback and hit. He missed his previous ball.
Well, there's one thing about Jordan. He's going to keep on shooting. You know, he might have to shoot 40 or 50 times tonight to try to make this team competitive.
If you're Larry Brown, run some low-post offense through Derek Coleman and then get Matt Harpering moving away from the ball and try to wear down Jordan.
Cummings way off. Rebounded by White on the box out.
Those last two shots will help the Wizards get back in the game because those are jump shots and quick shots as well.
Jordan threw it out. You can hear the crowd react.
3 seconds. Traveling violation.
Well, Michael with some words for Courtney Alexander.
When you pass, when you're a great player, and Jordan is a phenomenal passer, you get that ball, you've got to pull the trigger. If you hesitate, if you stop the play, if you give it off to somebody else, you're just wasting Jordan's effort and his execution and his creativity.
Now they're trying to come to Coleman.
Shot clock at 5. Under 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. The Sixers lead by 7. Alexander way off.
That's a tough shot. Dribble away from the basket and turn to your left shoulder for a right-handed player. What's he thinking?
Courtney has driven the coaching staff wild with some of those offensive moves, and there have been many chats on the bench next to Doug Collins. Foul is called on Alexander.
You know, but I think when you're a player like Courtney Alexander, a coach has to live with some of those bad shots, but he's got to be able to find a way to get some easier shots, and he hasn't done it so far.
Well, he passed up the wide-open shot that Jordan chewed him out for, and then he took that horrendous shot.
You can log on to NBA.com and bid on autographed red, white, and blue basketballs from every opening night to benefit the Twin Towers Fund. We saw the commemorative ball used in the ceremonial opening tip prior to the start of the game. It's all at NBA.com, the official website of the NBA.
Now, Marv, remember when Doug talked about the sensitivity of this team? Maybe they can't take all the barking from Jordan. Maybe that makes them a lot tighter. They might have to do a lot more patting rather than barking.
Well, we saw that in Atlanta on Thursday night. They were very encouraging, talking about Michael Jordan and Doug Collins, and that's what we talked about yesterday with Doug. He said, this is a sensitive group.
They'll learn to take it. That's just part of life.
Particularly if they're losing. Well, you're going to say nice going. Michael forcing. He is now 3 for 9 from the field. Brown was looking for the foul. The hold is indicated.
The problem for Doug Collins here is that his big men, who are trying to compete against Derek Coleman, Dikembe Mutombo, now Corey Blount, is that they're only doing things, they're only contributing when the ball comes right to them. They're not moving sufficiently, they're not anticipating, they're not setting screens, they're not running the floor. A lot of pressure forced on Michael Jordan.
Roger Bell picked up the foul, his second. Chris Whitney is back. Final seconds of the quarter. Hamilton putting moves on Claxton. Hamilton. And Richard Hamilton, a 1 for 6 first quarter. Michael, 3 for 9. He went the distance in this opening quarter, but the 76ers lead the Wizards 27-18.
Shelly, listen, it's Greg. I'm at the dentist. Yeah, okay. Shelly? I want to come into work. They don't know what I've got.
I have a tooth
I got the chicken pox. 24-hour, like, mumps. What else can I have?
I am really sick.
Both ears, gone. I'm hemorrhagic. I'm in traction.
The Acura MDX with torque managing 4-wheel drive.
I was eating waxed fruit this week. No.
Taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
This is how we work it. Grab the big Sprite and you know we jerk it right out the fridge. It's just like this with a dab. Yeah.
I give a pound to my man with my right hand because I keep the Sprite in the left hand. Okay. And then I push the button when I don't want to hear nothing. I let it go when I want to hear something. Yeah. This is how we flow when we in the studio. Freestyle with Sprite. Yo, how the rest go. First things first, a big yo thirst. Sprite, all right?
Space camp for your daughter, priceless. Grand Prix lessons for your dad, priceless. A celebrity chef for your sister, priceless. Getting them something that wasn't on their list, priceless. Use your MasterCard to win 5 priceless gifts, including an African safari. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Beauty, the world of Ralph Lauren, for the holidays, on Polo.com, America Online keyword Polo.
Not a good start for Michael Jordan and the Wizards. Washington 7 of 23 in the first quarter. Michael 3 for 9, 6 points. Aside from the obvious of hitting some shots, Steve, how do the Wizards get back into this game?
They have got to move the ball and move themselves quicker. With the exception of Jordan, they're stopping the ball, they're standing, they're watching, they're caught on the perimeter. They're not going to get many inside shots anyway because of Mutombo, but if they can move them around, they will at least get better shots. And every time they see Mutombo, they freeze.
But this is not a great offensive team yet, Washington. I think their biggest problem right now is on the defensive end. They gave up 27 points to a Philadelphia squad that is minus Allen Iverson, Aaron McKee, and Eric Snow.
But Bill, they got Derek Coleman. I just want to remind you.
And the foul.
That's why
Foul on Philadelphia, Speedy Claxton.
But that's why they got Derek Coleman and Matt Harper. You look at the problems they had against the Lakers last year in the finals. Tyrone Hill and Jermaine Jones, they couldn't score at all, even when left unguarded. Now you got a terrific perimeter shooter in Harper, a guy who moves without the ball, and Derek Coleman, someone you can run everything through. Larry Brown did a fine job in the offseason.
This is a 76er team that went 56-26, best record in the East playoffs. They beat the Pacers 3-1, defeated Toronto in a tough 7-game series, then beat Milwaukee in that grueling 7-game set. In the finals, came out strong. They won in Game 1 in LA, but then lost to the Lakers in 5. But the Sixers, who were beat up, captivated people, are playing with such great heart, led by Allen Iverson.
And that was a one-man offense that went that far, and Brown knew they had to improve it.
Chris Whitney and Courtney Alexander in the backcourt. Alexander is fouled. Christian Laettner is back up front with Popeye Jones and Tyrone Nesby on the floor for the first time.
Alexander is a terrific one-on-one scoring force. Here's a guy who, in the last month of the season a year ago, was the NBA's Rookie of the Month, averaging 22, 23 points a game. Unfortunately, the Wizards lost 8 out of those 9 games, and that's what Doug Collins is really trying to get them to realize, is the importance of fitting that offensive attack into the team flow.
It's the point that Doug made. Those were cosmetic statistics. Yeah, the numbers look fine, but as you mentioned, they went 1-8 over that stretch.
But they were losing before Courtney showed up. True. So, you know, he can't say it was my fault, Coach. I was trying to help you out.
Corey Blunt And Ira Bowman now on the floor for the 76ers.
Now, this is a chance for the Wizards to really get back in the game. If they keep pressuring the ball, because the Sixers are taking more time to get the ball in the air, more of the shots are coming from the perimeter.
That's waved off. Offensive foul, says Ed F. Rush. It's on Mutombo.
Larry Brown and Dikembe Mutombo cannot believe. They run the weak side screen and roll. Mutombo just keeps walking down in. It's like everybody's arms got tangled up. It didn't appear as if Mutombo did anything intentionally. And he'll go to the bench with a word to referee Jimmy Clark.
So Dikembe sits down. Matt Geiger has checked in for the first time, and a reach-in foul called on Corey Blunt. How long do you think Michael Jordan sits out in the second quarter?
They've actually played well in the 2 games when he's gone to the bench, much to a lot of people's surprise. But if they can just hang close, I would guess another 3 minutes, 7-minute mark to be back in.
So what are you saying? That he should sit longer?
No. I'm for Michael Jordan playing 48 minutes. Go for Wilt.
Yes, I'm sure Michael will appreciate that. Philadelphia's missed its last 5 shots. Minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. Foul is called. It's a reach-in on Blunt. That's his 3rd foul.
When Larry Brown went to the bench, he helped the Wizards out because he brought in a bunch of guys that have not played very well together and haven't played very often. Vonteego Cummings, a late arrival, Bowman, these guys have not played a lot. Speedy Claxton is trying to set the table for them, but they all seem to be in the wrong spot at the wrong time, taking bad shots and turning the ball over.
They just changed that foul. It is on Geiger, not Blunt. So
it's very difficult for coaches with new rosters. And remember, it's not just Philadelphia, the new roster. Washington only has 4 guys from last year's team. To get that set rotation that is so critical to team identity and style and flow.
Got 1 to 4. Leitner. Wild. Ira Bowman leads the break. Matt Geiger. Crowd wanted to travel on Geiger. Larry Brown was telling us that all the nice pass, but the layup was blown by Blunt.
Now Geiger was a foot away and didn't put it back up.
Ira Bowman just pulled the trigger on that 3.
Claxton with a beautiful move. Speedy Claxton with 10 points. Larry Brown telling us yesterday with all the shuffling on his roster, you talk about all the new guys, says like coaching an NBA All-Star team on the fly without the All-Stars.
Eventually, you've got to have the players. And when they get all their guys back, you just look over there at the guys in the suits. Eric Snow, Aaron McKee, Allen Iverson. No, I guess Allen's not in a suit tonight.
How would you describe it?
Casually chick.
Chick.
Yes. That's a West Coaster. The Sixers up by 7. Here's Wick for 3. Hit one earlier. Ira Bowman played by Tyrone Nesby. Ira Bowman in his second go-around with the Sixers. He's played overseas in the CBA. And Bowman sets it up for Claxton. Will not count. Another offensive foul on the 76ers. That is number 3 on Corey Blunt. 8:27 remaining in the second quarter. The Sixers up by 7.
Michael Jordan and the Wizards host the Magic December 1st on NBC.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Cold filtered for when you feel the heat. Get refreshment down cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. And by Black Knight, starring Martin Lawrence, November 21st, only in theaters. Doug Collins staying with this group, so Michael Jordan continues to rest after playing the entire first quarter, going 3 of 9 from the field, 6 points. This is home debut. Chris Whitney in the backcourt now with Courtney Alexander, Popeye Jones, Christian Laettner, Tyrone Nesby up front. Broken up by Geiger.
Geiger did a good job of doubling and then getting back in a passing lane, and the defensive energy has been in favor of the 76ers.
They don't have to worry about guarding any big guys.
And now Michael is making his way to the scorer's table. Geiger fires one.
Geiger, who missed most of last season, came alive with some valuable contributions in Philadelphia's valiant effort last year in the finals.
Popeye Jones on the rebound. He thought he was fouled. Sixers staying with this unit, Coleman and Geiger.
Well, you know, that first unit shot 56%, and Brown trying to get some of those guys back out there on the floor right now, because this is a great chance for them to really pull away and break the game open.
Last touch by Bowman, and now Michael Jordan checks back in.
What an addition Matt Harpring can be for Larry Brown if he stays healthy. Jordan back in, sat out the first 440 or so of the second quarter. We talked in the pregame about the injuries that Michael Jordan has had to face in the last 6 months. They play him too much. That risk is going to escalate.
Here's Jordan putting moves on Bowman, then met by Coleman. Foul is called.
Now, if you were to say recognition is the key of Jordan's game, no Mutombo, I'm driving. You know, there's no question that I'm coming hard, and you know he's able to get by Bowman, who played him tight, but there's no shot blocking in there, and he gets to the line.
Get the idea of Jordan cross midcourt, and he sees Ira Bowman on him. That there is no question that he was going right at him. And I say this, no disrespect to Ira Bowman.
How did you say it?
I know he's always been one of your favorite players, Ira.
Missed them both.
Michael off to a rugged start. 3 of 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from the line. Here's Nesby for 3. Yes. Tyrone Nesby from downtown, acquired last November from the Clippers, and the deal for Cherokee Parks after spending his first 2 years with the LA Clippers. Claxton stopped, but Coleman is right there for the follow.
You know, with Tyrone Nesby, he's a shot-a-minute type of guy, and he's either hot or he's cold, and Doug Collins will have to monitor this guy, particularly at the offensive end.
Alexander.
Finally, something goes down. I think Doug Collins' biggest problem right now is that the guards are not slowing down Speedy Claxton. He's getting into the lane. They're playing 8 feet off him, and he's still able to beat him off the dribble.
He is so quick off the dribble.
That is how he got that nickname, Speedy.
You know, it all adds up now.
Well, his true first name is Craig.
No help for Jordan as Bowman beat Jordan off the dribble.
Laettner. Everything stops so much for Washington. There's very little rhythm, flow.
Here's some moves directed to Christian Laettner. 1 for 5 from the field.
Tyrone Nisby has been a pleasant surprise for Doug Collins.
Remember, when you have a jump shooting team and you're not running plays, those are the kinds of shots the players are going to take. Jump shot.
Leitner turned back. And again, Christian Leitner hearing it from the home crowd. Matt Hofbrink. Leitner on the box out. And the Wizards in the midst of another drought. Down 35-27, just under 5 minutes. Now 5 exactly remaining in the first half. And a timeout is taken by Washington.
This Thanksgiving, one man's future is in the past.
It is the year 1328.
Now he's tripping.
Who be ye? Who be I? I'll be stomping your butt. You put your hand on me one more again.
He's freaking.
Damn. Y'all really know how to make a brother feel welcome?
He's jamming.
With these hands, I make fire.
We have fire.
He's Martin Lawrence.
911, white man down.
Black Knight, rated PG-13.
I holla.
November 21st, only in theaters. This is Silverado Heavy Duty. Available with the new Duramax diesel. The most powerful diesel you can get in a pickup. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Feel the excitement. Live the experience. Come be a part of the action. Get your tickets now to the world's greatest game, live and in person. Call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS or log on to NBA.com for tickets. There's nothing better than being there. Tickets are on sale now.
Oil? Check. Engine temperature? Check. Punch it. Well, love that butter. Butter? Butter. Oh.
Tomorrow on TNT, see the Pop Secret Popcorn 400 from Rockingham.
Not again.
Welcome back to Washington, D.C. I'm Jim Gray. We're in the second quarter. I'm now joined by the MVP of the NBA, Allen Iverson, not playing tonight, hasn't played yet this season with the elbow injury and surgery. You had really hoped to play tonight. You practiced well yesterday. What happened that you couldn't play tonight?
It was just sore. You know, I practiced like a week ago one time, and I wasn't able to go again until yesterday. So, I mean, every time I practice, it's real sore, and I got hit on it a couple times, and I was able to keep practicing, so that was a positive thing.
You basically have a brand new team this year, but what made you decide to wait till September 25th to have surgery?
Just because I wanted to see if it could get any better, you know, and it never got better. And, you know, I had the surgery when I did. But I've been going on with this injury for, you know, at least 7 years, and I just wanted to get it taken care of.
Michael Jordan just made that shot. What are your thoughts on Michael Jordan's return? He has 8 points in this game.
It's good, man. It's good for the league, you know, and it's good for us, you know, us guys, you know, just to be able to play against him again and to compete with him, you know. He set a standard so high for everybody, and it's just great to see him back.
You spoke to him. What did he tell you?
Huh?
You spoke with him. What did he say to you?
I didn't speak to Mike yet, you know, but when I do, I'm going to talk mess to him, let him know, you know, when I get a chance to play against him, you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity, that's all.
All right, Allen, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we look forward to seeing you play throughout the season.
All right, thanks, man.
Mark, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jim. Allen Iverson recovering from the arthroscopic surgery on the right elbow. Just under 4 remaining in this first half. 76ers in front, 37-29. Good play by Hofbrink, and then the steal by Bowman, who's played well. Ira Bowman.
Your man, Ira.
Well,
doing a nice job.
And now they're starting to pressure the ball a lot more and forcing the Wizards to pick it up and make more mistakes. It sounds to me like the little man is anxious to get back to get at Jordan and perhaps a little payback.
And And a loose ball foul is called.
Every time Michael is driving to his left, he's coming to a dead stop. And then when he keeps that movable foot on the ground, he has no momentum to pass crisply. And that allows the defense to anticipate, pick off the floating pass, and convert in transition.
Foul on Jahidi White. White up front with Leitner and Jordan. Alexander and Hamilton now in the backcourt. Speedy Claxton and Ira Bowman now in the backcourt.
Defensively, they've got to stop that ball from moving so freely, and that's been their biggest problem. Even when the Sixers are struggling, making shots, they're able to get wherever they want with the ball.
Good play by Leitner on the rejection of Bowman.
But the continuing ability of Philadelphia's perimeter players to get into the paint is putting undue pressure on Leitner, Jahidi White, and Jordan. They've got to deny penetration.
Alexander from Jordan. So Michael with his third assist.
And that's as close as they're going to get with Mutombo in the game. Right there, about a 6-foot jump shot, and a good decision by Alexander to pull up.
Dikembe does not have to guard Jahidi White. He can just stand in the middle, zone it up, block everybody's path to the basket.
And deflected out by Leitner, so the Sixers maintain possession. Timeout called by Philadelphia with 2:27 remaining first half.
How was work? Fine. How was school? Fine.
Gee, guys, what's the hurry there, huh?
Season finale starts in 3 minutes.
You know, if you had TiVo, you could record every episode of any show and then watch them whenever you want.
Really?
Automatically record your favorite shows all season long. Now TV fits into your life, not the other way around. TiVo, TV and dinner your way.
Go, man. Let's go. I'm gonna give y'all something.
Whenever you call me, whenever you want me, I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I'll be around.
Chevy, the cars you can depend on, the cars that last.
You never have to look too far.
Chevy, we'll be there.
Always with you.
Ahmad Rashad in New York, coming up on the NBA on the NBC Halftime Report. Hannah Storm will talk live with the Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant. Plus, we'll get some predictions on the new NBA season from Pat, Mike, and Jason, and we'll have their insights on the first half between the Wizards and the Sixers.
I don't have nothing to say. This game is terrible.
Speedy, you got to get a copy of that first quarter to show your future grandkids. High score and scooted around MJ.
I haven't seen this many air balls since you were playing in New Jersey.
Oh! Now, back to Marv, Bill, and Steve.
That really sets the table for the rest of this ball game.
It's a mean group.
Michael Jordan has taken 12 shots. 11 of them have been perimeter jumpers.
2:25 remaining in the first half, and the Sixers up 39-31.
And with no one setting screens for Jordan with a stand-around offense, it's very difficult. Claxton once again, just too easy, waltzing to the hoop.
Speedy Claxton has 12 points. He is the high man. The numbers on Jordan, 4 for 12, 8 points, 3 assists.
But let's be fair to Jordan. Most of his shots from this point on in his career are going to be perimeter shots. You know, he's not always going to be able to get by his man and get to the rim, but he's expecting that shot to come back, and I think that's his big disappointment.
Nice ball movement to set it up for Hoffering. Here's Mutombo. Bad play by Leitner. Hoffering takes advantage.
Leitner is starting to remind me of that guy that has thrown the 2 home run pitches. You know, he can't do anything right. You know, Doug Collins is going to have to save him from the fans.
See, Bob Brenly would have stayed with Christian Leitner.
Well, this is a guy that's making his way and making it big. This is big notice now. Courtney Alexander never even saw that first step. He was looking away and went right around him, and the right thing.
Has Speedy always been right-handed?
Yeah.
I'm told also that is Speedy at regular speed to show his skill. Courtney Alexander has 8 points. Speedy Claxton will sit down. Had a standout career at Hofstra, a 2-time America East player, #1 draft pick of the 76ers last season.
So, Marv, you don't think Doug is going to pull a Bob Brenly, huh? He's not going to stay with Christian.
What are you guys talking about?
Christian just took a seat. Doug had enough in this first half, but not a good one for Christian Leitner or the Wizards, who are trailing 43-35. Mutombo with a hook that was nearly from downtown.
This has to be extremely frustrating for Jordan, who takes such incredible pride in everything that he does. And for it to not work for him on opening night, the worldwide audience, every game now on national television, basically.
And you look back to the opening of the season in New York, where Michael was so disappointed with his performance. His knee had been bothering him, which the Wizards did not reveal. 24-second violation. Jordan had not practiced for several days, but we're looking at a performance here in the first half, which is about the same as it was in New York. Still a lot of basketball to be played. Timeout is called. 23 seconds remaining in the half.
You know, for the Wizards and Jordan, he might have to deliver something bigger than he gave in Atlanta, because this is not the way they play.
Michael Jordan has come back, and this is second comeback as a small forward. A little bit of a different physique. Take a look at Michael back in '85 as a rookie. This is 1995 when he came back, wearing number 45 in 2001.
A man who sculpted his body. A man who realized after getting beat up by bigger, stronger players, realized the need to get into that weight room, and became such a devotee to physical fitness. I mean, it's just remarkable what he has done.
But you know, you guys hit on it earlier, you wonder about the frustration of the long haul of an 82-game season with this particular group, where you get the idea Michael has to play maximum, optimum every night, which means 35 to 40 minutes at a very high level, just to give the Wizards a shot to be hanging around at the end.
But that's the challenge. That's the dream. That's what makes basketball as a game so much fun. The history of the game has always been about the team with the best player wins. And now he's got a team around him that is not near what it was.
But don't you think you need a second player also?
You need a bunch of second players.
Right,
you know? And Jordan is bordering on insane when you think about this challenge that he's accepted.
Final seconds of the first half. They double up on Jordan. Who's going to take it? Alexander does, and comes up with the air ball. And that will not count. The Wizards were looking for a goaltend. Well, a lackluster first half all around, although Larry Brown will take it. His Sixers, a patched-up Sixer team with a 43-35 lead. Coming up after these messages, Ahmad Rashad and our NBA on NBC halftime crew standing by in New York.
Impala. My dad had one of these.
Really? Wow.
I just have some very nice memories from that car.
Did his have the smoke lenses in the front? Rear deck spoiler, 200 horsepower, V6 engine.
16-inch aluminum wheel. Well, I just love that they brought the Impala back.
Whenever you call me.
Chevy Impala LS. The feeling never fades. You're gonna love it.
This is my car.
Impala. We'll be there.
He got next. You gotta get him. You gotta get him.
Discover a sensation as real as the streets. Mountain Dew Code Red.
On a routine reconnaissance mission, Lieutenant Chris Burnett saw something no one was supposed to see. On November 30th, behind the courage.
They killed my pilot. Let me get him.
Behind the honor.
I'm not gonna let that kid die out there.
You will lose your command for this.
So be it.
Owen Wilson. Gene Hackman.
Gentlemen, I intend to put you in harm's way.
The Truth Lies.
We will bring you home.
Behind Enemy Lines. Rated PG-13. November 30th. Only in theaters.
There is the world you know, and one you can only imagine. Where you can navigate satellites, or fly without ever leaving the ground. Where you can live in the future before it even arrives. When you cross into the blue, everything is different and important.
Especially you.
1 week from Monday, the WWF superstars face their worst nightmare.
Who needs to be smacked down?
Triple H, The Big Show, and Stephanie McMahon.
She did sleep with my father, that's why I voted her off.
A special WWF edition of Weakest Link. NBC 1 week from Monday at 8, 7 Central.
Hi, everybody. Hannah Storm back at the MCI Center in Washington, and certainly not the debut thus far that the Wizards or Michael Jordan would have envisioned in a game that they want to win badly. They trailed the 76ers 43-35. In just a few moments, we'll be talking with Lakers star Kobe Bryant to get his take on Michael's comeback and tonight's game. But right now, let's go back to the studio and Ahmad Rashad.
Thank you very much, Hannah. And once again, let me introduce our new crew for this season. They are Jason Williams, Pat Croce, and Mike Fratello. Now, let's do the hard part and talk about the first half of this game.
Man, is Wes Unseld still on moonshine? I'm serious. What has he done with the lottery picks for the last 20 billion years to make this a better team? This is horrible. The Wizards are horrible.
Well, now, we heard some comments during the course of the game that Marv and those guys were saying that Doug had told them that the team was very sensitive. Hard to really say the things that he wanted to say.
Ahmad, I've been dealing with professional athletes for 20 years, and the word sensitive and on the court doesn't work. If you're sensitive, get out of the pros. Be Jason's valet.
I tell you what, if they were sensitive, half them guys should be working in Daryl's barbershop.
Well, I was at the Washington practice about a week ago, and there definitely were times during the practice that either Doug Collins or Michael Jordan started to correct the player and then backed off a little bit because it was one of those guys who has a little bit of sensitivity.
So what happens?
Cannot handle the constructive criticism. What happens? We have a developmental league now. You get down there and spend a year, all of a sudden you're able to take the criticism a little more.
We do the same thing with Ahmad. He's sensitive.
I am very sensitive. But Mike, I thought you had a play that you wanted to show us.
I would like to show you a play if I
We'll
could.
show us later. Right now, let's go back to the MCI Center in Washington and rejoin Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Ahmad. Well, there's a player in the game today that's been compared more than anybody else to Michael Jordan, and that's Kobe Bryant of the Lakers. And Kobe joins us now. And Kobe, I don't know if you saw Allen Iverson a few minutes ago. He said that he thinks Jordan's return to the league is good for the NBA. What do you think?
I absolutely think it's good for the league. I think it comes at a crucial time while the NBA is fighting for, to get the contract back with NBC for TV ratings or whatever. But I think it's good for the NBA. It brings attention back to the game. He's coming back for the love of the game. So I don't really see anything wrong with it.
I'm glad to see you have a handle on the business side of the negotiations for the league, Kobe. But what are your observations about Michael? I know you saw him play in the first quarter of the game tonight. How do you think he looks?
Well, I think he's trying to get his jump shot off a lot more than he has in the past. In the past, he utilized his athletic ability a lot more to get to the basket and draw some fouls. And as of now, it looks like he's just trying to get to his sweet spots and get into his comfort zone where he can get some jump shots off.
There's been so much hoopla about Michael Jordan's comeback that nobody has been talking about the Lakers much in your quest for a three-peat. Has that been good for you guys?
I think it's been good for us. We've been able to lay beneath the radar a little bit and let our new guys like Samaki Walker and Lindsey Hunter and Mitch Richmond kind of get used to the triangle offense a little bit. And I think it's been good for us. We've been able to lay low a little bit.
I think many people are surprised to hear Shaquille O'Neal dedicate his season to winning you the MVP award this year, and I'm wondering what your reaction was.
I was shocked just like everybody else. But, you know, our main objective is to win the third title. It's not to win MVP. It's not to win scoring titles. It's not to win anything individual. I think we all understand the brotherhood that it requires and the commitment to one another that it requires to win a championship.
You know, there's a popular notion out there that the only team that can beat the Lakers this season is themselves. Do you agree with that?
Well, I sure hope so. We're going to do everything in our power to ensure a third title, or to at least put ourselves in a chance where we can win a third title. And, yeah, I like to agree with that, yeah.
All right, Kobe, thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you and the Lakers play on NBC Christmas Day.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ahmad, a player like Michael Jordan in many ways, but perhaps most by the fact that he is so ultra-competitive and ultra-confident, Ahmad.
All right, thank you very much, Hannah. Now, is the rest of the league lying down saying, okay, the Lakers, you have it? Because everybody out here says the Lakers are by far the best team. Nobody can beat them.
Well, the Lakers are pretty good, you know, and adding Samaki Walker and Lindsey Hunter to it, they're going to be tough to beat right now.
I think they're better and pretty good. With Shaq and Kobe, Shaq is the most dominating, impressive, imposing force on the court. They're scary.
But one thing that we know, the two teams that are playing right here probably can't beat them.
No, look, this is a very special Laker team. They lost some key pieces. They went out and replaced them with Walker, Hunter, and Mitch Richmond. Don't forget about that. They were not good last year, the Lakers, until Derek Fisher came back. He's out again with another foot injury, so they need him to come back to reach that level once again. But they dominate in so many positions. And you tell me that Kobe Bryant isn't a special person. There's not too many like him.
Don Nelson had a great line, the best line of the whole preseason. He said, if Michael Jordan plays his cards right on his comeback, he could be the next Kobe Bryant. So you know Michael Jordan's going to put that back in his index.
Right on his refrigerator door. He'll be looking at that every day.
You're right, man.
It seems like the only thing that could beat him, and Hannah hit it right on the head by asking him about complacency.
I have a play ready in case.
We'll have that play next week, probably, when we're not on the air. Coming up, we'll go from east to west and get these guys' predictions for the 2002 NBA season.
Told you I was going to get another.
With Shaq and Kobe leading the way, the Lakers begin their quest for a third straight title, but 28 other teams are taking aim at their crown. MVP Allen Iverson looks to get his Sixers back to the finals. They face a number of challenges, including the Magic with Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill, the Bucks who reached the conference finals last season, and the Raptors who added Akeem Olajuwon. We'll look ahead to the new season when we come back.
Anything in the mail?
Junk.
Hey, look at this.
What?
A credit card pre-approved. You know what that means.
We already have a credit card.
But it's pre-approved. What do you want? A trip to Bermuda?
The Cayman?
Yeah. Or a nice dinner out.
You know what I want? A house.
Using credit wisely is the first step toward owning a home. Call for the free guide on credit from the Fannie Mae Foundation and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
They run out again?
A hero is someone who is strong and determined, courageous and dedicated. Someone who is loyal to their family and friends, and known for their kindness to strangers. They are defined by the spirit of their convictions and the selflessness of their actions. They are our heroes.
Welcome back to our New York studio with the new NBA season underway. We want to put these guys on the spot and get some of their picks for this year. And earlier we talked about the Lakers, who was everybody's pick. But who out west has a chance to beat them?
I like San Antonio. If David Robinson comes to the game like it's a basketball game instead of a knife fight with his heart in his back pocket, you know what David Robinson do? He should give away them muscles to Popeye Jones. you know, these are the only two guys that can deal with Shaq. You know, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. But every time he goes against him, he gets scared. Hey, Dave, it's just a basketball game. It's not a knife fight.
Who do you like out west?
I like the Lakers. I like the Lakers. I would love to see Dallas. I'd love to see my buddy Mark Cuban's team, young, hungry players, do some damage in the West. But I got to go with the Lakers.
Well, the Lakers are the best team, but I'll give you two surprising teams. Houston is going to win a lot of basketball games. They are a very deep team. That backcourt averages, you know, they average 44 points a game in the backcourt easily. The other team, Minnesota, playing more zone than anybody else in the NBA right now and playing it well.
Okay, give me just a quick answer on this one here. Can either of those two teams beat the Lakers?
No.
Thank you. Let's move to the East. Now we get on the East. It's more interesting when we talk about the East. Philly came out of there last year, but what about this year?
Milwaukee Bucks. Now with them adding Anthony Mason, if Anthony Mason, my main man, can stay out of the big house, and I don't mean the Alamo Dome, he brings some toughness in a low post game that they can't beat the Bucks right now with Sam Cassell and Tim Thomas coming off the bench and Ray Allen. That's a great team.
And Milwaukee, one of the few teams that beat the Lakers at home and away last year.
That's true.
Ahmad, I love their firepower. He is right, but I like the dynamic duo of Orlando, and I like the character and confidence of Toronto, but I'm born and bred in Philly. No, I'm going for Philly. I love Philadelphia.
When you have to go, well, you won't be able to get a good cheesesteak.
Now, can you make your pick without using your heart, the way Pat just used his?
No question Milwaukee is one of the premier teams, but Toronto, one jump shot away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Orlando, when Miller comes back from his broken foot, they are loaded. And my surprise team, Miami, when you give them time to get all those new pieces together, they're going to be much better.
Can any of those, quick answer real quick, can any of those teams beat the Lakers?
No.
All right, one last thing before we go. Jason, Pat, Mike, and I will be autographing this red, white, and blue basketball, just like the one used in the ceremonial tip-off at each team's home opener. They'll be part of an online auction on NBA.com. All proceeds will benefit the Twin Towers Fund. You guys can start. Coming up, we'll send you back to Washington for the second half between the Wizards and the Sixers. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
NBC Tuesday. It's Frazier versus Dad in the biggest battle in Crane history.
This was not malicious. It was an accident. I don't think you know the difference. Yes, I do. This is malicious.
The furniture will fly. Then on Scrubs, Sean Hayes has a hot new intern the doctors hate.
Come on.
And the nurses love.
Cute little butt. I have a cute butt.
You should bring it in someday.
All new Scrubs after an all-new Frasier. NBC Tuesday.
Enjoy a unique tanning experience. Total Eclipse. Let the knowledgeable Total Eclipse staff help you develop a richer, healthier tan. The safer way to tan with virtually no UVB rays. Choose from our excellent selection of skin-nourishing tanning accelerators. Pamper yourself in cool tanning comfort. Protect your skin. Call Total Eclipse, 420 North Range Line in the Chase Colton Plaza. Experience the unique difference. Total Eclipse.
The American dream. Man and machine. It's never too late to hit the open road and venture where you've never gone before. Psycho Connection is your Harley-Davidson headquarters. Everything you need to ride and more. What does true freedom feel like? Harley-Davidson at Psycho Connection.
Freeman Super Doppler 16, watching out for Neosho and all of the four states.
Has been cleared for takeoff. His flight plan includes being catapulted to a cruising altitude of 50 feet into the air, where he'll be twisted around like a sock in the spin cycle, before finally setting down on a sheet of ice. The complete Olympics coming this February to the networks of NBC.
Back in Washington, Michael Jordan making his way back out of the court for the second half. Not a strong first half for Michael, only 4 of 13 from the field. 8 points, Sixers up by 8. We'll have the second half in a moment.
Home Depot, we're driving down the cost of home improvement. With special buys like $8.85 for a 2-pack of these long-lasting fluorescent light bulbs from Commercial Electric. We bought over $1 million so you can get all you need at a great price. Just look for the hammer symbol. It means we've got lower prices. Nailed.
Hey, when was your last family weekend? Go sightseeing, attend a ball game, visit a theme park, and, quality family time. You don't want your kids to grow up to be weirdos, do you?
No.
You have a great day.
Residence Inn Come Out and Play rates make this a great weekend for a family getaway.
My name is Alice. I live in a palace.
Call 1-800-MARRIOTT. Residence Inn. Your Marriott awaits.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on new Corollas, 4Runners, and Tundras for a limited time only.
Save by zero.
To cross that line with pride.
To know that I accomplished something.
Did something important.
Important to me.
Important to me.
The New York City Marathon, Sunday 3 Eastern, NBC.
The world's top riders break boundaries and take flight in the Bike Vert Finals when the Gravity Games return to NBC Sunday at 4 Eastern. Don't miss this one.
We're back at the MCI Center in our nation's capital. Better than 20,000 on hand for the Wizards home opener. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Doug Collins talking with his ball club. They shot only 33%, 13 of 40 in the first half.
Marv, he didn't get any good looks, Michael. And without anyone else creating, the 13 shots taken predominantly from the wings, nothing really out in front. When Michael's trying to create his own shot, he might be better off trying to keep it out in front for better floor balance to prevent Philadelphia from running out.
Now remember, Michael Jordan doesn't need a lot of help. I mean, you've already given us his magnificence, and he makes his own way. He's just got to be able to get into some sort of rhythm, and he is like he was in New York off his game tonight.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, very similar to what we saw on opening night at Madison Square Garden. Speedy Claxton is the high point man with 12 points. Washington ball as we open up the third quarter. Jahidi White, Christian Laettner, Michael Jordan up front, Chris Whitney, Richard Hamilton in the back. And as Michael makes his move, he's called for a traveling violation.
Took an extra step, but, Doug Collins is saying, get off the perimeter. Let's get you inside. The danger of that is Mutombo is going to be coming around.
His right foot's a pivot. Yes, he did pick up that right foot, shuffle it. Referee Bill Kennedy right on it.
Now the foul is called.
Jahidi White.
Yes, on the Wizards. Jahidi White, that is his third. Let's check in with Jim Gregg. Jim?
All right, Marv, I spoke to Doug Collins at halftime. He says we've got to get something out of Christian Laettner. He's got to play for us. He's got to play much harder. He's got to do much better. Very upset with the 2 early fouls that he had and the fact that there were 22 points in the paint. He says it's totally unacceptable. As for Michael Jordan, he said his shot's just not falling right now. He expects Michael to continue to attack. He likes the challenge. Michael, during halftime, simply rode the bike. There were no speeches tonight, Marv, to his teammates.
All right, Jim. Bill rode the bike at halftime in our production office. Laettner now just 1 for 7 from the field.
Well, Richard Hamilton's only 2 for 7, so let's not just put it all on Christian Laettner.
What we should watch on Jordan is its energy level. Harpering is really making him work to try to get his hands on the ball.
Shot clock down to 4. Claxton goes the step again. Yes, and it counts. Speedy Claxton with 16, and he heads to the line.
He is wearing out whoever is guarding him. I mean, this guy has got great quickness and his ability to make shots. You watch him extend here to get that by everybody. Speedy Claxton is saying, Allen, you're going to have to share some time with me this year.
That's foul number 4 on Jahidi White, and then Mutombo on the rebound, but could not convert.
That's just inexcusable to not be able to get a defensive rebound. Missed free throw, and Whitney a foul on a Harpering. Good ball movement. Derek Coleman's passing.
Beautiful pass.
Really been a major factor for Philly's offensive attack tonight.
Had a little reverse English on that last pass.
Like, he's always been an outstanding basketball player. It's been his lack of team chemistry, his lack of commitment to the values that make a team work that has always plagued him wherever he's been.
But he is committed this year. He's already lost 30 pounds. He spent the entire offseason, which in the past he hadn't done, of getting himself in better shape and being ready to play. He wanted major minutes, and he's a guy that likes to be a starter. He didn't like coming off the bench at Charlotte, and when they told him, you're still coming off the bench, he wanted out.
Shame of it is, as you look at the skills of Derek Coleman coming out of Syracuse, this guy we should be talking about him as one of the great power forwards of the history of the game.
Well, he was a former #1 pick in the NBA draft.
All right, here's Hamilton. Yes. Richard Hamilton. Now 3 of 8. He has 8 points, and the 76ers lead 48-37. You think back to last year, Philadelphia opened the season 10-0. At one point, they were 41-10 on their way to the top record of the Eastern Conference. Shot clock down to 3. Coleman for 3, way off.
He certainly has that capability to make that 3-point shot.
And the Wizards not able to take advantage with Mutombo slow to move down court after he lost his balance. The foul is called on Roger Bell.
Hard to recall something that the Wizards have been able to take advantage of tonight.
Well, again, we're talking about a team that won 19 games, and they've got to piece together not only a winning attitude, but a winning game. They got to find a way, if you're talking about this Jordan factor, to be in the game in the closing moments where he can be an important player for them.
But at the championship level for Michael Jordan, Harpering going one-on-one here against a much shorter and foul-troubled Chris Whitney. You talk about rebounds and defense. That was always Jordan and the Bulls' trademark.
Strong move by Hamilton, able to take it all the way, 48-39, Philadelphia.
But this is not a strong defensive team, Washington, and they're getting pounded on the boards tonight.
Coleman thought he had a teammate, but it was the official, Bill Kennedy. I don't think he'll trust his peripheral vision.
When you're that top swing man, you only see out of the peripheral vision, and all you see is movement.
Would you say that if Michael Jordan can lead the Wizards to a playoff spot, it will be as great an accomplishment as Hamilton is able to hit as winning one of the championships with the Bulls?
I think it'll be the greatest story ever told, and I think it will be
ever told.
I think it will eclipse everything that he's done so far.
6-0 run by the Wizards.
Making shots really helps your disposition defensively, but they're still not able really to keep themselves in front of the drivers for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mike Fratello at halftime was talking about how strong that Eastern Conference is.
Michael Jordan with his first field goal in quite some time, and it leads to a Philadelphia timeout. 8 unanswered by the Wizards. Michael now 5 for 15, 10 points. Here's Richard Hamilton showing the touch, and now Michael, who has struggled tonight in a battle down low, and then cutting to the corner and able to convert.
What? That's it? Just like that? We're breaking up?
Well, we were never going out.
This Friday, the world's most shallow man will be given the gift to see women in a whole new way.
From this moment on, you're only going to see the inner beauty.
You see that little fox out there? She's with me. Oh!
You want to see a splash?
Gwyneth Paltrow, Jack Black.
I saw a knockout. I don't care what anybody else saw.
Shallow Hal, rated PG-13. Friday, only in theaters.
Free Up. It's the better way to prepay from Verizon Wireless. Now for only $69.99 after $30 mail-in rebate, you can free up with this real hype digital phone that comes with $15 worth of prepay minutes. This mind-blowing new way to prepay is loaded with features like 10-cent night and weekend minutes, nationwide long distance included. Now you can call farther and talk longer for only $69.99 after $30 mail-in rebate. Join in and free up only at Verizon Wireless.
Reinvented Camry. Trust us, you're going to want one.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the reinvented Toyota Camry. Get the feeling. By Sprite. Obey your thirst. And by McDonald's. We'd love to see you smile. Welcome back to our nation's capital. An 8-0 run by the Wizards. Prior to that jumper by Jordan a moment ago, he went nearly 9 minutes without a field goal. He has scored when it was 35-29 in the second quarter 9 minutes ago, so he's now 5 for 15, 10 points. Shot clock, all 6 as Derek Coleman went with the blind pass that went astray.
Well, they doubled him, and Harpring was there, but the ball was just a little bit out of his reach, so mistakes are allowing the Wizards to get back in the game, only down 5.
Here's Jordan. That jumper is still flat. He said after the game against the Knicks that was the big problem.
He's not getting a lot of elevation on that jumper.
Nice pass from Leitner. It counts and the foul. Christian Leitner to Richard Hamilton on the bounce.
We're seeing power forwards passing the ball tonight. Derek Coleman and Christian Leitner coming right back. The give and go is what you always want to do when things aren't going your way. Give it up and quickly explode to the hoop. If that's not going to be open, that'll set up the next part of the offense. The continuity has been a big problem for Doug Collins tonight.
Rip Hamilton leading the way here with 9 in the third quarter of play, but ball movement, player movement has always been the key to good offense. And the quicker you move the ball and the quicker you move the personnel, the easier it is to score.
Sixers have led by as many as 13. The lead is down to 2. An 11-0 run for Washington. And again, that shot clock is running down. Whitney with the steal. He has Jordan. Broken up, and Whitney recovers. He loses it, but last touch by Philadelphia.
Chris Whitney, please. You got a 3-on-1. Doug Collins is going to pull his hair out over there.
And the man he had on his right was number 23.
You know, up until the last 3 minutes of the game,
Richard Hamilton is tied at 48.
Philadelphia has controlled the pace, the defensive energy, everything, and suddenly Washington's gotten back in it on the offense and the defensive efforts led by Richard Hamilton.
You see a whole new body language for the Wizards. They're up on their toes. They're pushing out defensively.
And Hamilton came over on the double of the foul called.
Popeye Jones, the middle of your screen, setting monster screens for everybody.
Michael Jordan showing encouragement to his teammates who have come from behind, down by as many as 13. The game is now tied at 48. Washington last led in the early moments at 9-8. Well, Speedy Claxton gives the Sixers the lead again. He now has 18 points.
Speedy's had a terrific game, and it seems as though whenever the Sixers get in trouble, Speedy's the guy to bail them out. You saw Jordan pointing at Richard Hamilton, and he was telling him, I ain't heavy. Carry me, though. Carry me.
Offensive foul. That jumper by Claxton ended a 13-0 run by the Wizards. Popeye Jones picks up the personal. That's his second.
Doug Collins saying before the games that they have to be patient in setting their screens and really execute, get to the final options of their continuity offense.
Good play by Whitney. And last touch by a hustling Popeye Jones.
Yeah, Popeye had no chance to get that ball, but that's the kind of effort that Doug Collins wants to see.
The 76ers with a front line of Mutombo, Coleman, and Harpring. Ira Bowman is back. Played well in the first half in a brief stint. Speedy Claxton with the ball. And draws the foul.
Chris Whitney has shown no ability to keep Speedy Claxton in front of him. And while he's backed off so far, he really has no sense of which way Speedy Claxton is even going. Foul called against the rotating defense.
Don Whitney, his third. And the Wizards are now over the foul limit, so Claxton to the line. Well, coming to NBC tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central, the world premiere of Uprising, the critically acclaimed Uprising, starring Donald Sutherland, Hank Azaria, David Schwimmer. It's an epic story of courage in the face of unspeakable evil based on the story of the Warsaw Rebellion. That's the premiere of Uprising tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central, right here on NBC.
When Whitney is playing against Claxton and can't deny penetration, you've got to get up closer on him and make a predetermined decision as to what you're going to do, which way you're going to force him, and tell your teammates that, look, you got to get what I can't cover.
Well, whenever Philly moves the ball, moves it quickly, they're getting chances to get any shot they want. Whenever they hold it or just decide to go for the jumper, they struggle. But Mutombo can't get that jump hook to go. He's been in and out and around, but not down.
Mutombo now 2 of 8 from the first to draw the foul. He saw Dikembe, and he turned his back to protect the ball and threw the foul.
Vintage Jordan got the ball in a very unusual position as Laettner hung him out to dry there, and Jordan beating 3 Philadelphia 76ers on the way to the hoop.
And Jordan, who missed his first 2 free throws, able to convert.
Remember the story Dikembe was telling us last night about his favorite Jordan memory when Dikembe was playing for Denver. Jordan was torching the entire Nugget team, and at the end of the game, Jordan went up and shot a free throw left-handed with his eyes closed and still made it and said, Dikembe, that's in your face.
Sixers up by 2. Claxton with a wild pass picked off by Jordan.
Doug Collins made some defensive adjustments at the half, and this is a different Wizard team than we saw in the initial 28 minutes.
Well, they're trying to pressure the ball. They're making the Sixers make some decisions.
The most helpless feeling in the world. Guarding such a magician who can go either direction, has the entire repertoire of moves. He could have beat Matt Harpring with any one of those fakes. He just kept throwing him at Harpring, and finally Matt bit on it, and Jordan up and under.
Yeah, but every player in the league has got to understand most of Jordan's shots right now are jump shots. And if you go for those fakes, you're going to get hung out to dry. You got to stay down. Harpring's not a shot blocker. All you want Jordan to do is have to work for every score. And I mean work real hard.
Wizards have taken the lead for the first time since the early moments. Traveling violation committed by Harpring.
Best scoring quarter for them. They've got 18 so far. Larry Brown is just being patient but shaking his head saying, guys, we can't make mistakes and think we're going to win the game.
Washington in the midst of an 18-4 run. They reeled off 13 unanswered. Michael Jordan showing some signs, now being guarded by Claxton, and then gives it up to the open man, Hamilton. The way Doug Collins has been drawing it up. Unfortunately for Doug Collins and the Wizards, the end result has not been that often enough.
They forced a switch, and then we talked at the half about Jordan having to play more out in front of the hoop to keep the offense balanced, and Hamilton's found his stroke. Philadelphia needs to get the ball to Derek Coleman down low. They're totally out of their offense.
Wizards up now by 3. Claxton has brought him with it one. His foot was on the line. It's a two-pointer, 55-54, and the pace of this game has picked up here in the third quarter. Now Jordan posting. Oh, look at the look at Harpering as he goes close court from Hamilton, and an offensive foul is called once again on the Wizards. It's on Popeye Jones, his third.
Another screening foul away from the ball, and Doug Collins just can't believe it.
Well, how do you think Richard Hamilton has been getting so wide open? Somebody's being held in there, and this time Popeye got caught.
One of the difficult things for Michael Jordan, at now 38 years old, is that he can't back cut the way he used to, which is the basis for all of your offense.
Raja Bell off the mark on that open shot. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the third. Whitney from way down. Whitney has been on fire from three-point land over the first 3 games. 4 of 6 from downtown against the Knicks. Hit a big three-pointer to clinch it against Atlanta on Thursday night.
Larry Brown is sending 3 Sixers at Jordan in the post. The way he's passing, that's a mistake.
Good job by Popeye Jones on the offensive boards. Hamilton. And back comes Bell.
He's going to gamble that they're going to start missing jump shots. The 76ers started missing their perimeter shots, and they have fallen down. The only guy that's scoring in the quarter is Speedy Claxton. And, you know, they're having to take 24 seconds on almost every possession, and they haven't gotten anything inside.
Last touch by Coleman, and a timeout taken by the 76ers.
The trust that comes from playing together, knowing jumpers go down. When the double team comes on Jordan, you know it's going to be there. His teammates have to realize that ball is going to be on the money time and time again. First Hamilton, then Whitney.
2:10 remaining in the third. Wizards up by 4.
All right, guys, bring it in. Bring it in. Hey, where's Billy?
He's sick. He's our best player. Yeah. We can't play without him.
Come on, it's gonna be okay.
It's for the championship, Coach.
There's gonna be a lot of other games.
Hey, I can play.
Do you know how?
I'm not bad.
He's tall. What do you think? All right, let's go! Hey, if we win, we get to go to McDonald's. So don't lie.
That was fun. Hey, would you be my big, strong watchdog and guard my Bud Light while I go to the ladies' room?
Woof, baby.
Hey, let's touch it.
Hey, go. Come on over. Oh, you got moves. Lily, you got moves. Stop. Go.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
It ain't that bad.
The Lexus GS Series, priced from $39,180. It's ready for you. Are you ready for it? See your Lexus dealer.
Question about DirecTV?
Yeah, I hear this thing gets like an insane amount of sports channels.
What's up?
You're absolutely right, sir. With DirecTV, you and your family can enjoy wonderful educational channels together.
I'll let you guys talk.
Here's the pitch.
We know how you feel, and that's why at Circuit City, you'll get a single-room DirecTV system with installation free after mail-in rebates when you sign up for 12 months of DirecTV programming. Circuit City, we're with you.
Wednesday on Ed, the ex-wife who broke his heart is back for a second chance.
Hi. It's been over a year, and you're still not over it.
Will Ed realize he made the mistake of his life?
What would have happened
I hadn't left.
All new Ed, NBC Wednesday.
Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is where you have pride and heart. This is where you earn the respect of these fans. These people want to cheer for us. Don't let them want to cheer for us.
Well, they've been cheering for the Washington Wizards. Philadelphia have scored the first 5 points of the third quarter since then, with Michael Jordan getting back into it. Wizards have outscored the Sixers 23-6.
But it has not just been Jordan. Raja Bell, the quick trigger, but Richard Hamilton has really come alive here in the third after stinking it up in the first half, 2 for 7. He's 6 for 7 in the third quarter alone.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Blunt, who just checked back in, gave it right back. Alexander. And Leitner. 1 and 2 by Montego Cummings, so the foul is called.
They're contesting better than they were in the first about 28 minutes of this ball game. In the first half, it was the Sixers that were the aggressors, and suddenly you see a lot more fight from the Wizards in white for every possession, and that's made a difference in getting them back in the game.
Christian Laettner, 83% free throw shooter last year. So Michael Jordan getting a rest right now. Wizards have Laettner up front now. Tyrone Nesby will check in for Popeye Jones. Courtney Alexander on the floor along with Whitney and Hamilton. Popeye hears it from the crowd. Did a good job. 9 rebounds for Popeye Jones.
And a good adjustment by Doug Collins, realizing that Derek Coleman is getting a breather of his own. Doesn't have to have the size and strength and bulk of Popeye Jones. Can come with some more offense, much needed in Jordan's absence.
So Washington with its biggest lead. They're up by 6. The 76ers 0-2 on the season. Lost at home Thursday night to Dallas. Lost in Minnesota in their opening game. Bad pass thrown by Bell.
Well, what we've seen from Philadelphia is a team in desperate straits to score points. They scored 74 their first game at Minnesota. The low 90s in the second game against Dallas. Dallas, a notoriously high-scoring and porous defensive team.
That's number 4 on Bell. After the loss at home to Dallas, Larry Brown said that he was happy with the effort, with that lineup that consisted of 1 starter, similar to tonight from a year ago, and Dikembe Mutombo. I would think he's got to show some encouragement. He knows that eventually Allen Iverson, Aaron McKee will be back. Then down the line, Eric Snow. A reminder tomorrow at 3 Eastern, NBC will present the 32nd New York City Marathon. You can watch as the world's best distant runners gather in the Big Apple for the grueling 26-mile run through New York City's 5 boroughs. That's the New York City Marathon tomorrow at 3 Eastern, right here on NBC.
If the Wizards are going to continue to pull away, they're going to do it against this group that is struggling to score points because they're forcing the offense too much. And they've got to be able to find a way to move the ball and move the players easily, and that hasn't happened.
Poor shot by Cummings.
Good defensive rotation by Tyrone Nesby.
And without Speedy Claxton out there on the floor, he's the only guy that's shooting for them to try to get the ball to Mutombo.
How about Laettner on the rejection? Hamilton to the pull-up. Yes. Richard Hamilton turning it in the second half. He now has 21. He comes off a good game in Atlanta, 22 points, and the Wizards now lead 64-54.
As Hamilton matures physically and is inspired by Jordan.
Ira Bowman. And Ira Bowman has hit 4 out of 5 for 8 points.
But Richard Hamilton will have to learn how to absorb that contact. He'll need to get into that weight room. Not so much to get bigger, but to get stronger, more explosive, and more durable.
Hey, Bill, I got 15 in the quarter. What are you talking about? I don't need anything.
Final seconds of the third. So Hamilton Hamilton with 15 points for the Wizards in the third. 15 of his 21 points, and Washington has come from behind to lead by 8. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
You've got a passion.
Race-inspired cockpit. Chronograph-style instrumentation. Introducing the high-performance IS from Lexus. Totally unexpected. For an incredible value, just show up at your Lexus dealer.
I play center for the Bulls. I'm the point guard for the Mystics.
I play
power forward for the Sixers. 6 man. My dad's the head coach for the Lakers. Small forward. The 3-point specialist for the Celtics.
You can play or coach in the Junior NBA or Junior WNBA member league near you. Log on to NBA.com or call us at 866-JR-HOOPS to learn how you can participate as a player, coach, or parent.
I'm a small forward for the Spurs.
I'm the shooting guard for the Bucks. No, really, I am.
Tonight, John Goodman, Ja Rule, all new Saturday Night Live.
Burgraff Discount Tire has a good deal on a great tire. A great Kelly tire like the Kelly Safari SUV. Burgraff offers a large selection of sizes on Kelly tires. And remember, with every set of Kelly tires purchased, you get free mounting and balancing, free tire rotation, and a free road hazard warranty. So let the friendly professionals assist you in your tire needs. Burgraff Discount Tire in Joplin and Miami, and Hunter Tire and Alignment in Carthage. Your area Kelly tire dealers.
Just arrived, a large shipment of upholstered and leather furniture, dressers, and beds. Many name brands from a major department store. We have enlarged our store for a bigger and better selection. Redecorate your home with the latest designs and patterns in wallpaper and borders. Also, the newest in redecorating murals of all types. Tradex sales open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. North Main Street, Rhodes, Joplin.
Clouds across much of the 4 states. Will they remain for the rest of the weekend? Find out tonight at 10.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other dissemination or use of this telecast, or of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Welcome back to Washington. I'm Jim Gray. As we get ready for the fourth quarter, we're very pleased to be joined by the Commissioner of the National Basketball Association, David Stern. David, what does Michael Jordan's return mean to the NBA?
It means that a lot of people are going to tune in, and they're going to see a bunch of great young stars and a bunch of great veterans while they're seeing the greatest basketball player of our time come back and join us.
How would you assess Michael's play? Quite a spark there in the third quarter after struggling in the first half.
I think he's rounding into shape, so to speak. I just told him, listen to your body, Michael. Don't push it too much. But he looks pretty good to me.
Aside from running the business as well as you do, David, you're a huge basketball fan. Can anybody beat the Lakers this year?
I only have one answer to that. You're going to have to watch the entire season to see it. But there's some pretty interesting teams forming out there. And so I think we should play this season to see that.
The Wizards make the playoffs?
Oh, no predictions there. But I don't want to get Michael angry. That might help him make the playoffs.
Use you as a motivator. Commissioner, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Mark, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. NBA Commissioner David Stern, who has been making the rounds. He may set an NBA record for most opening games by a commissioner.
Very busy man, but certainly not as busy as Chris Whitney, who can still not have any sort of handle whatsoever on Speedy Claxton. We saw last year in Philly's great run to the finals. They drive the ball to the hoop and then gives them offensive rebounding opportunities.
Foul is called on Cummings. Richard Hamilton has been very difficult to cover. 9 of 15 now, 21 points. You see Michael Jordan making his return, coming on early. Opening minute, fourth quarter.
You know, Bill, as long as he's scoring, I don't think that Michael or Doug or anybody else in the world is going to convince Rip that he needs to go in that weight room. You know, I can take the hit. I make the free throw.
Has Hamilton always been right-handed?
Always. He's never been anything but right-handed.
Barry Brown one of the great defensive coaches that I've ever had the privilege of watching. And to allow Richard Hamilton to go to his right hand time and time again, inexcusable for Philly's defense.
I have a feeling that Hamilton is one of these guys that just does not want to build up his body. You know, Kenny Anderson had the same feeling as a member of the New Jersey Nets. Claxton draws the foul. Remember, Chuck Daly was trying to emphasize that he could become a better player if he goes to the weight room. Foul is called on Jordan. That's his first. I think Hamilton is just very satisfied with his game and just doesn't want to take it that level in terms of the strength and to sculpt his body.
I don't believe you can be an effective top-tier NBA player without being a committed weightlifter.
Why?
Too tough a game.
There's Hamilton with the steal. And Claxton the foul before the shot, and it will be called a breakaway foul.
Because it looks to me like Richard Hamilton is doing just fine with the physique that he has. He still has the quickness. I mean, he's a finesse player. And if you make him something other than what he is, as we take a look at Speedy Claxton commit that breakaway, you've changed Richard Hamilton altogether. He's never going to be a big, strong guy.
I'm not talking about big and strong. I'm talking about more explosiveness. I'm talking about more durable, more ability to, when that contact comes, which is it is going to be there the better he gets.
Clear path to the basket foul, which means the one shot plus the possession. Michael Jordan now 6 of 18 from the field. Wizards lead 67-58. A minute and a half gone by in the fourth.
A lot of time left for Philly to try to find some rhythm, and, you know, they've been trying to find Coleman down on the post, and that time he just went on his own trying to make a way, but, you know, he lost that rhythm that he had early in the ball game and hasn't scored since the first half.
Oh, Coleman
against Jordan.
Yeah, take advantage of Jordan on a post-up. Good look from Jordan with the rejection behind on Cummings. The recover, shot clock running down. Coleman for three. He's been off. Derek is now 2 of 8 from the field. Nice play by Nesby.
You would think that Philadelphia would have a terrific advantage with Coleman and Mutombo inside. They have not capitalized there, Philadelphia.
Alexander backing his way. Claxton with the strip. So the Wizards will have 8 on the 24.
Their game plan right now is to try to take advantage of Claxton defensively, and 1 of 3 guys get him down on the post, and Jordan comes back to really help out against Montego coming.
Never double clutch in that situation.
Wizards call for time. We'll be back in Washington in a moment.
Michael Jordan and the Wizards host the Magic December 1st on NBC.
You're gonna fall in love with the new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King. Indulge your craving in a hot, delicious quarter pound of flame-broiled beef with melted Swiss cheese and 4 strips of crispy bacon, stacked up on 2 slices of grilled sourdough bread. It's for a limited time, so head over to Burger King today and get ready to fall in love.
Introducing Jeep Liberty, full of innovations and legendary capability.
And now, your eyes are fine.
Nature has never seen anything quite like it. Jeep Liberty.
Next.
I'm not your stepping stone.
Tuesday on NBC is brought to you by Jeep, makers of Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, and the all-new Jeep Liberty. By Burger King, home of the Whopper. And by Nike. Well, Michael Jordan has logged 30 minutes to this point, 6 of 18 for the field. He has 15 points. You see the Wizards turning it around in the second half, led by Richard Hamilton. Right now, they lead 67-58. Michael continues to have problems with the shot. Now 6 for 19 from the field.
Good use by Larry Brown of the new rules, zoning up the baseline out of bounds defensively.
Well, you know, as Richard Hamilton got them back in the ball game, Speedy Claxton looks like he's going to have to be the guy to get the Sixers back in it. He's been their big scorer whenever they've needed a bucket.
Claxton tried the step-back move on Nesby, but could not put it down. Here's Alexander. Yes! Courtney Alexander with 11 points, and now we're seeing a Wizard team that is getting help from others.
Nice kick-ahead pass, a good flow right now. You've got Hamilton, Alexander, Tyrone Nesby making some good things happen.
Well, I think the 76ers are going to make another run and get back in this ball game. They got to start making some shots, and that's been their big problem.
How long do they leave Mutombo on the bench?
Well, he should be coming back in the next 30 seconds to a minute.
Steve has the substitution pattern timed out. Right down to the last second. Dikembe's missed his last 7 shots. Derek Coleman has missed his last 5. That's only a second field goal. 1 for his previous 7.
We've got Hamilton playing the defensive.
How about Leitner coming up with a steal? It's a 4-on-2. Jordan finding Nesby, and he is fouled.
Michael Jordan is not trying to make spectacular passes. He's kicking the ball early, letting the other guys make their plays. Over the top, in transition, Alexander says, I'm jacking this one up.
So what about my clock? Here comes Dikembe.
I never doubted you. You pointed it out. Steve is very precise on the substitution pattern as Philadelphia continues to have its problems in the second half. Just 6 for 24 from the field. But this is a Philadelphia club playing without 3 of their starters. Allen Iverson, Aaron McKie, Eric Snow, all sidelined by injury. Reminder coming up this Tuesday, 8 o'clock on TBS, the Orlando Magic and the San Antonio Spurs. Coverage beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Nesby extending to a 15-point Washington lead.
And they've only, you know, the Sixers have only scored 15 points, I believe, in the second half of play, and that's really been the story. You got to be able to score the ball. I don't care what you say about defense, they both go together. And when your offense breaks down, your defense breaks down as well. Claxton.
And Bowman for 3.
Jordan. This guy's pretty good.
Remember the big advantage that they had in the paint.
Nice passing.
Nesby, yes. Doug Collins has to be thrilled with the fact that other guys are scoring here tonight. With Michael Jordan struggling with the shot, he's done it in the assist department. He now has 9 and an 11-0 run by the Wizards.
It's all about the team right now, and Jordan is setting the pace, even though the numbers are not going to be there for him. He draws the defense and then steps right through. He wasn't moving his feet to pass in the first half. Now it's all come together for Washington.
The Wizards 75 and the 76ers 58. I guess the team president or the former team president can have his say of the huddle.
Why not? That's the way basketball teams operate. The guy who's controlling the flow. especially with such a dominating personality as Jordan.
The 76ers scored the first 5 points of the third quarter. Since then, Washington has outscored them 40-10.
I mean, that is the scary part about what's happening to the Sixers here. They don't know how to get the ball in the basket right now. I mean, before Bowman was able to get to the rim, Claxton was getting there almost at any time. They were getting medium-range shots. Now they're shooting against the clock, and they're going to get a double foul, Mutombo and Leitner.
I really like what Doug Collins has done, though, in terms of going with a big backcourt. Hamilton and Alexander. At putting size at both positions to negate some of the quickness edge that Speedy Claxton has. And if they have any limitations of those guys handling the ball, then you got Michael Jordan who can put it on the floor.
Claxton met by the double. Shot clock at 6.
The Sixers have been fighting the clock the entire time. They get an offensive foul against Mutombo as Popeye Jones got underneath that elbow.
Kevin now forcing the issue. He's frustrated. He's missed his last 7 shots.
Determined to get to the hoop. He just leads with that arm. Popeye Jones very lucky that his head was off to the side.
Hey, you let Shaq get away with that move? That elbow came out too far.
5 minutes gone by on the fourth. Wizards up by 17 points. Hamilton backing. Nice pass. Leitner will go to the line.
Everybody's passing. The movement is beautiful. Doug Collins is ecstatic. It's what you live for as a basketball player. The team coming together.
Well, you know, they figured this out. If you move the ball and you give it up, you get a better chance to score. In that first half, that ball was stopped. They were standing. They were shooting a lot of jump shots. And the defense of the 76ers really controlled the pace of what was going on for them. And they picked up their defensive energy and their offensive ball movement, player movement, to build this lead.
What about the patience of Doug Collins, though, to stick with Christian Leitner? Who in the opening moments was just atrocious. Now he's become a valuable contributor in all aspects. Defense, rebounding, passing, scoring.
8.6 rebounds for Leitner. Another steal. This time it's Alexander on the ball.
How many turnovers for the 76ers in the second half?
Alexander.
I get the sense that Courtney Alexander's thinking about shooting.
That's a jump.
Ira Bowman now defending on Michael Jordan, who finds Alexander, but again, it's way off. Leitner with the rebound, and they get another 24.
11 turnovers for the Sixers in this second half of play, and that is really part of what's really putting them down.
Michael being very selective with his shots, looking for other people. 7 of 20, 17 points, 9 assists, a 15-0 run for the Wizards.
What about the creativity of Popeye Jones and Leitner, though, the double screen?
Harpring knocks down the 3. He has 11, and the Wizards now lead 79-61.
You know, the problem for the Sixers, they got down big in the last ball game, and they rallied back to get within 5. They controlled the lead, and then lost it in.
Crowd wanted Jordan to bank it home as he drew that foul. Foul called on Harpring. Timeout for the Sixers. 5:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Another standing ovation for the Washington Wizards.
you love are waiting for you to come home for the holidays. And for a limited time, you can take along the security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection on any new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep. Plus 0% financing on select models. So before you head for their place, stop by ours.
In the face of Nazi terror,
these were innocent people.
Ordinary citizens chose to fight back.
We will fight our enemy now.
Based on the true story of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising,
Make me proud.
NBC presents an all-star cast. Uprising, NBC Sunday, 9/8 Central.
Well, that's a pretty good-looking stat line of 35 minutes, although Michael Jordan has not had the shot going, and he's realized that, and he changed his game in the second half, looking for others. 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists.
When you're the lead player, you have to keep shooting. You have to come in with the mindset, I'm going to take at least 20 shots, because that's what everybody's built their whole game preparation around.
There's the foul line. Not bad. 3 for 6 for an outstanding free throw shooter.
Here's a guy who has scored in double figures in every game but one in his entire career.
You also have to factor in, although Michael is not talking about it, that he's had problems with the knees. Talking about tendonitis, he has not been able to practice on a regular basis with the Wizards. That was the case going into the season opener against the Knicks in New York.
Larry Brown is trying to get his team to get back some offensive continuity, trying to move the ball a little bit better, move people around so that he can build on something from this game. He came in feeling pretty good about their effort in the first 2 ball games that they lost, but effort is nothing when you're losing, and you know, you got to get some wins, and you got to play smarter, and they had some chances in this game, and they helped give it away.
Foul on Leitner, his 4th personal, and Dikembe Mutombo to the line for the first time.
Washington's defensive rotation in the second half has been exceptional. They're leaving their men early. When anybody's gotten beat, they've just given up their own man and committed to the team defense.
And for the Wizards, their first major test as they go back-to-back. They play at Detroit tomorrow night, then Wednesday in Boston, back home next Friday for Golden State. That'll be the start of a 5-game homestand. Here's Jordan. And a loose ball foul on Popeye Jones. Now, both teams are over the foul limit. That's 4 on Popeye.
We've talked all night about Michael Jordan and his incredible attempt at what he's doing here. I talked to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's leading scorer in history this summer, about what it was like at the end of his career. Kareem played all the way into his 40s. He said it was going great. Everything was wonderful. And then all of a sudden, one day, he couldn't play anymore. And it just dropped off, like stepping off a cliff.
But how much more difficult is it for a player who's handling the ball and shooting jump shots than a big man to play at that late stage?
Much more difficult. Right. And at that time, Kareem still had Magic and James Worthy and all these incredibly talented players around him to carry the load.
Well, I think that every team is going to try to take the approach with Jordan to try to make him work as much as he possibly can every night out and see how much fatigue takes out of him.
Hamilton. A splendid night for Richard Hamilton in his 3rd season out of the University of Connecticut, a member of UConn's national championship team back in '99. In fact, he was named outstanding player in the Final Four. Hamilton now has 26 points.
20 of them in the second half of play. And again, taking advantage of his size against Speedy Claxton. Where Speedy was beating him off the dribble earlier, he's just taking him to a point, jumping over him, knowing that he's going to be able to get the shot away.
Coleman on the foul to put Leitner at the line. 4:10 remaining, 4th quarter. Wizards up by the score of 82-64. When do you take Michael Jordan out with the game tomorrow night, back-to-back in Detroit?
I don't think you take him out. I think because you stand the risk of losing all the momentum and losing this ball game. Just don't let him shoot. Just make him be the playmaker and the team leader. He knows how to pace himself.
When was the last time the Sixers in the second half showed any kind of an offensive surge? You could have taken him out 7 minutes ago. What do you mean you don't take him out? And Doug is always saying that, you know, he's worried about his minutes. Get him out now.
Popeye Jones with the tip. And the Wizards now lead 85-64. I think Doug I would think he's thinking about it now.
And the next thing Bill will say is Michael should shoot all of the rest of the shots for the next 3 minutes.
Michael should be the playmaker and the team leader here.
So what are you saying about tomorrow night?
He'll be fine.
Harpering is able to hit. He has 13.
Just don't have him guard Jerry Stackhouse.
Right. If he was a little bit off tonight and he had days of rest, he's going to have a tough time tomorrow night.
A lot of times the second game is a little easier.
You get the idea Jerry Stackhouse is looking with eagerness to tomorrow night. Remember the little controversy between Stackhouse and Jordan a couple of years back?
Well, I have said there are a lot of guys that Jordan left burned, and he should have left them that way. Now he's come back, and he's gonna get a little sins factor himself. So there are going to be some young guys like Stackhouse and Iverson that are going to be coming at him. Vince Carter, these guys, you know, if they haven't played against him, they want to show that they can, and if you burned them, they want to get even.
But you know, that's what's so compelling about this comeback, because Michael Jordan is obviously a guy who is not afraid to fail. He puts himself out there, even though he knows that the Jerry Stackhouses and the Kobe Bryants and the Vince Carters, Tracy McGrady's, they're waiting for him. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and as Bill said before, this will be his greatest accomplishment. If he can turn this team around, get them into playoffs this season, he will have done his biggest miracle.
Popeye Jones felt that he was fouled. And the Wizards now lead 86-68.
You know how good this makes you feel when you're out there playing basketball and the team comes alive and the ball movement and the fans cheering and yelling. And
particularly after a dreadful first half by the Wizards, able to turn it with a series of fakes, and then is hacked by Harper. And Ian Harpering have a chuckle. Michael is headed back to the line with 2:22 remaining in this fourth quarter. The Wizards up 86-68. We'll be back to Washington in a moment.
If you have people waiting for you to come home for the holidays, we wouldn't want to slow you up. After all, the best gift we can give each other is time together. But there is one stop you might want to make before you go, your Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep dealer. Because for a limited time, we're including the security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection with every new vehicle, plus 0% financing on select models. So before you head home for the holidays, stop by our place. After all, we'd like to see you too.
Free Up. It's the better way to prepay from Verizon Wireless. Now for only $69.99 after $30 mail-in rebate, you can free up with this real hype digital phone that comes with $15 worth of prepay minutes. This mind-blowing new way to prepay is loaded with features like 10-cent night and weekend minutes, nationwide long distance included. Now you can call farther and talk longer for only $69.99 after $30 mail-in rebate. Join in and free up only at Verizon Wireless.
Are you neglecting your retirement plan? Sun America can help. Just ask your financial advisor. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Coming up next, for the first time on NBC,
Are you gonna go for it?
Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation. Coming up next on NBC. Donny Osmond's always been the perfect clean-cut boy next door. Who wouldn't want to see him covered in maggots? The first ever Celebrity Fear Factor, NBC Tuesday, November 27th.
Hey guys, let me tell you something. You guys have done a hell of a job. Let's put the stamp on it. Let's finish it, okay? Let's finish it up.
The hardest thing for a coach in Doug Collins' position is to come in and turn around the mindset of the whole franchise, where losing has just become accepted. This franchise has not won a playoff series since the mid-'80s. And now he has to come in, all of a sudden the expectations were...
Christian Laettner hearing the cheers after the boos during the course of the first half. Finished strong, 9 points, 8 rebounds, although he shot just 2 for 9. And Michael Jordan with 20 points, but 9 assists, 6 rebounds. That is actually the story, along with the fact that others have contributed. Nice move by Diego Cummings. As we come up on 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter, the Wizards on their way to a record of 2-1. The 76ers, after going 1-6 in the preseason, headed to 0-3. This an injury-battered 76er team going without Allen Iverson, Aaron McKee, and Eric Snow. And getting back to the discussion earlier about whether Michael should be on the floor or not, it's obvious that every possible victory is so precious for Doug Collins, and he just doesn't want to take any chances.
And you heard him during the timeout. We get 2 minutes and 26 seconds to go. He says, you've done a heck of a job. And they were up by 18. Now, you don't lose many games in the last 2 minutes when you're up by 18. So, you know, I think he just thinks it's important for them to continue to play with the same kind of energy and that same kind of winning attitude.
And now Michael will sit down with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left.
But one of the things that we've heard from Collins and Jordan as they try to rebuild this franchise is the words accountability and responsibility. And in our lifetime, has there been anyone more along that line of thinking than Michael Jordan, who is always there, who realizes the importance of every single day getting that job done?
Brown, the rookie from Syracuse, has come on for the first time, and it's Corey Blunt. His second bucket. He has 4 with just under a minute and a half remaining. Looking ahead for the 76ers Tuesday, they're back home for Indiana. Pacers playing well, then 3 straight on the road. Houston, Dallas, and Miami. 29 for Hamilton.
Say what you will. Without that great shooting of Richard Hamilton in the second half, this would have been a different game for the Wizards. And they correctly identified him as a critical part of their future, and Hamilton is not disappointing.
Kembe Mutombo with 10 points. Remember, Hamilton last year had a 41-point game and a 40-point game. He averaged 18 points per game. He emerged to lead the Wizards in scoring.
These Wizards have to realize that they're going to be wide open the vast majority of the time they're on the court. So you better be able to shoot.
And that outlet pass thrown away, so Washington will get it back. And Richard Hamilton hears the cheers. Second half, 9 for 11. He finishes 11 of 18, 23 of his 29 in the second half. He's replaced by the rookie from DePaul, Bobby Simmons, who had a very strong preseason. Half-minute left. Hamilton, the high man, with 29. Jordan, 20 points, 9 assists. Popeye Jones had 11 rebounds. Not able to keep it alive. The high man for the 76ers, Speedy Claxton, with 22. Beautiful script with 12 seconds remaining.
You know, in the energy that they got started at the beginning of the third quarter carries over, and those are the kinds of plays that Doug Collins wants to see, where you don't give a guy an easy layup. Somebody somehow hustles back, knocks it out of his hands.
Cummings setting it up on Alexander. Here's Brown. Damone Brown, second-round draft pick out of Syracuse with his first field goal, and a standing ovation from his team. The Wizards started from a lackluster first half and defeat the 76ers 90-76. The Wizards 2-1 on the season. The Sixers now 0-3. Michael Jordan.